Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am so grateful you've joined me today, and I can't wait to dive into something that has the power to change your life. People don't often realize the weight of someone's presence until it transforms into absence. You've spent your life weaving connections, building bridges, and creating meaning in the lives of others. Your existence is not merely incidental, it's a testament to the profound influence a single life can have. And yet you may have been overlooked, underestimated, or even taken for granted. But understand this: when you step away, they will feel the void, a silence they cannot fill. They will never find peace after losing you because what you bring is irreplaceable. Think about it. Every word you speak, every decision you make, every sacrifice you endure creates a ripple effect. When you live with integrity, when you stand firm in your values, people are drawn to your strength. But here's the paradox: they can also grow accustomed to it. They lean on you without noticing the burden you carry. They expect your light to shine endlessly without realizing the effort it takes to keep that flame alive. And yet, when that light is gone, they will be plunged into a darkness they never anticipated. Human beings have an uncanny ability to take stability for granted. It's easy to ignore the scaffolding when the building stands tall, but remove it and the structure falters. Your presence is that scaffolding holding together fragments of lives, relationships, and communities. When you withdraw, the cracks become visible. They'll remember your kindness, your wisdom, and your unwavering dedication. They'll replay the moments when they should have shown more gratitude. But by then, regret will be their companion. There's a profound truth in understanding your own worth. When you respect yourself enough to step away from situations where you are undervalued, you teach others a hard lesson. You become a mirror, forcing them to confront their own shortcomings. And in that confrontation, they lose their peace not because of bitterness, but because they see clearly what they've lost and cannot regain. You leave an imprint not just in memories, but in the very fabric of who people are. Your kindness, your strength, and your wisdom linger like echoes. They shape decisions and inspire reflection. Yet for those who neglected to cherish you, these echoes are tinged with regret. They carry the burden of knowing they had something extraordinary and let it slip through their fingers. But here's the beauty in all of this: your worth is not contingent on their recognition. You don't need their peace or validation. You stand tall because you know what you bring to the world. Your decision to walk away, if necessary, isn't an act of cruelty. It's a declaration of your value. And so remember this: the loss of you will never go unnoticed. It will carve a space so deep that no substitute can fill it. They will search for peace, but they will not find it. Because peace isn't something you leave behind, it's something you carry with you. And by choosing to honor yourself, you become a beacon of that truth. The value of presence is often underestimated because it operates quietly, seamlessly integrated into the lives of those around us. Your presence is not just about being physically available, it is the essence of who you are, the unique combination of your thoughts, actions, and energy that shapes the environment you inhabit. When you walk into a room, you bring with you a distinct aura, a sense of stability, inspiration, or comfort that can never be replicated by anyone else. This is not an abstract notion, it's the reality of human connection. Think of how a simple conversation with you can shift someone's perspective. Your insights, even when casually shared, can spark ideas, soothe fears, or bring clarity to confusion. It's not just your words, but your tone, your intention, and your authenticity that leave an imprint. People may not always articulate this, but they feel it deeply. Your presence becomes a part of their lives in ways they may not fully understand until it's gone. Consider how often people lean on you without realizing it. They turn to you for advice, for support, or simply to feel understood. It's not because you're a convenient choice, it's because you've shown them time and again that you're someone they can trust. This trust is a currency that can't be measured. It's built on countless small actions that demonstrate your reliability and care. The value of your presence lies in these moments, the ones that seem insignificant but collectively shape the emotional landscape of those around you. And yet, there's a profound irony in all of this. Because your presence is so consistent, so dependable, it becomes easy for others to take it for granted. They may not recognize its importance while they have it because it feels as natural as breathing. But take it away, and the absence is like a vacuum. a sudden realization of how much space you occupied in their lives. It's in the quiet moments when they look for the reassurance, guidance, or connection you used to provide that the weight of your absence will be felt. Your presence isn't just about being there, it's about what you bring into every interaction, every relationship, and every endeavor. It's a unique contribution that cannot be duplicated. When you understand this, truly grasp it, you begin to see your worth in a new light. You realize that your presence is a gift, one that enriches the lives of those fortunate enough to experience it. Integrity is one of the most powerful forces a person can wield. It's not just about honesty or keeping promises, it's about living in alignment with your values, principles, and beliefs, even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. Integrity becomes a compass guiding your actions and decisions, ensuring that they reflect the truth of who you are. It creates a foundation of trust and respect that others cannot help but notice, even if they don't consciously acknowledge it. When you live with integrity, you exude a sense of authenticity that draws people to you. There's a rare strength in someone who refuses to compromise on what they believe is right. In a world where shortcuts and empty promises often prevail, your commitment to doing what is right, not what is easy, sets you apart. People may not always agree with you, but they will respect the consistency of your character. That respect lingers because integrity is rare, and anything rare is inherently valuable. Living with integrity also means being accountable for your actions. It's not about perfection, it's about ownership. When you make mistakes, you own them, learn from them, and strive to do better. This humility, coupled with a steadfast dedication to truth, earns the trust of those around you. They know they can rely on you, not because you never fail, but because you never hide behind excuses or deceit. This builds a deep emotional connection that is hard to break. Moreover, integrity creates a ripple effect. When others witness your commitment to doing what is right, it inspires them to reflect on their own choices. Your example becomes a quiet yet powerful influence, challenging others to raise their standards. Whether you realize it or not, you become a leader not necessarily in title, but in essence. People look to you as a model of what is possible when someone chooses to live authentically and consistently. However, this power of integrity also comes with a cost. When you hold yourself to a high standard, it exposes the gaps in others. Your steadfastness can make them uncomfortable, not because you judge them, but because your presence reminds them of their own compromises. This discomfort is often why people undervalue or resist those with integrity. It's easier to dismiss you than to confront their own shortcomings. But rest assured, the impact you leave is undeniable. Even when they don't express it openly, people recognize the power of your integrity. They feel it in how you treat them, in the promises you keep, and in the unwavering strength you demonstrate in times of uncertainty. It's a force that endures, shaping the way others perceive you long after you've left the room. The power of integrity is not just about the legacy you leave behind, it's about the undeniable truth that your presence, grounded in authenticity, is transformative. Unrealized dependence is one of the most subtle yet profound dynamics in relationships. People often rely on you in ways they may not consciously recognize. It's not just about tangible support like advice, help, or shared responsibilities. It's about the emotional and psychological presence you bring into their lives. This dependence is woven so seamlessly into their everyday existence that it feels invisible, almost like the air they breathe. But as with air, its absence becomes undeniable the moment it's gone. Your dependability creates a sense of stability for those around you. Whether it's your calm in a crisis, your ability to listen without judgment, or the way you make others feel seen and valued, these qualities become a cornerstone in their lives. They turn to you instinctively, not out of habit, but because your presence makes their challenges seem more manageable, their burdens lighter. Yet, because this reliance often goes unspoken, they may not fully grasp how much they lean on you. This unspoken dependence also stems from the comfort of your consistency. You're there when they need you, whether it's to celebrate their victories or to navigate their failures. Over time, this creates an emotional safety net, something they don't consciously count on but would feel deeply vulnerable without. It's not that they don't care or appreciate you, it's that they become so accustomed to your role in their lives that they cannot imagine a world without it. But here's where the reality of unrealized dependence becomes striking. When you step back or walk away, the void left behind is more profound than they could have anticipated. They may initially struggle to pinpoint what feels off, but eventually they'll realize it's the absence of your presence, your support, your guidance. It's not just about missing you, it's about recognizing how much of their emotional and mental well-being was tied to your steady influence. This kind of dependence is often overlooked because it operates in the background. It's not loud or demanding, it's quiet and reliable. But that doesn't make it any less significant. In fact, it's precisely this subtlety that makes its loss so impactful. People might not fully appreciate the depth of their reliance on you until they no longer have you to rely on. And by then, the realization comes with regret and longing, because replacing such a connection is nearly impossible. Understanding unrealized dependence is also a reminder of your worth. It highlights how much value you bring into the lives of others, even if it isn't always acknowledged outright. It's easy to feel overlooked when people don't verbalize their gratitude or recognize your contributions. But the truth is, your impact runs deeper than words. It shapes their lives in ways they may not articulate, but will undoubtedly feel if you're no longer there. Ultimately, unrealized dependence is a testament to your quiet strength and influence. It's a reminder that even when your contributions go unnoticed, they are deeply felt. And when the time comes for others to confront the void you leave behind, they will come to understand just how much they depended on the very essence of who you are. An emotional imprint is the profound and lasting effect you leave on the hearts and minds of others. It's not something they can see or touch, but it's deeply felt and remembered. Every interaction, every shared moment, every piece of yourself that you've given to someone else becomes part of this imprint. It's the way you make people feel, how you inspire them, comfort them, challenge them, or simply make them feel understood. These moments may seem fleeting at the time, but their impact can echo through a person's life long after you've parted ways. Your emotional imprint is shaped by your authenticity. When you bring your true self into a relationship without pretense, without masks, you create a space where others feel safe to do the same. This vulnerability fosters trust and deepens connections, leaving a mark that cannot be erased. People may forget what you said or did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Your kindness, your encouragement, or even your ability to listen without judgment becomes a cornerstone of their emotional experience. It's not just the positive moments that contribute to your imprint, though. Even your struggles, your challenges, and the way you navigate life leave an impression. When others see you face adversity with resilience or admit your fears with honesty, it resonates with them. It reminds them of their own humanity, their own struggles, and their own capacity for growth. Your emotional imprint is not about being perfect, it's about being real. Over time, this imprint becomes a part of who they are. The advice you gave them in a moment of doubt might shape their decisions for years to come. The comfort you offered during a painful time might become a memory they revisit when they need strength. Even the small, seemingly insignificant gestures, a kind word, a shared laugh, or a moment of understanding can take on greater meaning as they reflect on the role you played in their lives. What's striking about an emotional imprint is that it often goes unnoticed until your absence makes it undeniable. When you're there, your influence feels natural, like the warmth of the sun on a familiar path. But when you're gone, people start to see the shape of your impact. They replay conversations in their minds, revisit shared memories, and realize how much of their growth, happiness, or healing was tied to your presence. It's a bittersweet revelation, one that underscores both the depth of your connection and the weight of their loss. This imprint is a testament to your value. It reminds you that your actions, words, and presence matter, even if they aren't always acknowledged in the moment. You are shaping lives, creating ripples that extend far beyond what you can see. And while it's not your responsibility to ensure others recognize this, it's a powerful affirmation of the influence you hold. An emotional imprint is a legacy in itself. It's the part of you that lives on in the hearts of others, shaping their choices, inspiring their growth, and reminding them of the moments they were truly seen and valued. It's a quiet but enduring mark that speaks to the depth of your connections and the undeniable truth that your presence matters. Self-worth and boundaries are deeply intertwined, forming the foundation of how you perceive yourself and how others perceive and treat you. Understanding your self-worth means recognizing that your value is inherent and independent of external validation. It's not determined by what others think of you, how much you give, or how much you endure. It's rooted in the truth that you are deserving of respect, kindness, and love simply because you exist. But self-worth is not just about knowing your value, it's about acting on it, and that's where boundaries come in. Boundaries are the practical expression of self-worth. They are the limits you set to protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. They are not walls meant to shut people out, but lines that define what is acceptable and what is not in your interactions with others. Setting boundaries is not selfish, it's an act of self-respect. It's acknowledging that while you may care deeply for others, you also have a responsibility to care for yourself. When you lack boundaries, you often find yourself overextending, giving too much, saying yes when you mean no, and allowing others to dictate your priorities. This can lead to feelings of resentment, burnout, and a diminished sense of self. Over time, it becomes clear that this pattern doesn't serve you or those around you. People who take advantage of your willingness may grow to expect it, while those who truly value you may feel the strain of your imbalance. Establishing boundaries can feel uncomfortable, especially if you've been conditioned to prioritize others over yourself. You might fear rejection or disapproval, worry about being seen as difficult, or struggle with guilt. But the reality is that healthy boundaries improve relationships. They create clarity and mutual respect, ensuring that your interactions are rooted in genuine connection rather than obligation or manipulation. Boundaries also teach others how to treat you. When you consistently honor your own limits, you send a clear message about what you will and will not accept. This doesn't mean people will always like it. In fact, those who have benefited from your lack of boundaries may resist the change. But their discomfort is not your responsibility. You are not here to please everyone. You are here to live a life that aligns with your values and respects your needs. Self-worth is the anchor that makes boundaries possible. When you truly believe in your value, you no longer feel the need to prove it through overgiving or self-sacrifice. You understand that saying no to something that drains you is saying yes to your own growth and well-being. You recognize that protecting your energy allows you to show up more fully and authentically in the areas of your life that matter most. The beauty of self-worth and boundaries is that they create a ripple effect. As you honor your own needs, you inspire others to do the same. You show them what it looks like to live with respect for oneself, and that example can be transformative. Your relationships become more balanced, your interactions more meaningful, and your sense of self more grounded. Ultimately, self-worth and boundaries are not about keeping others at a distance. They're about bringing yourself closer to the life you deserve. They are the tools that allow you to protect your peace, nurture your potential, and cultivate connections that uplift rather than drain you. They are a declaration that you know who you are and what you're worth, and that you're willing to honor both. Loss is one of life's greatest teachers, a force that strips away illusions and forces us to confront the raw reality of what truly matters. It's a universal experience, yet deeply personal, carving unique paths of understanding for each of us. When someone significant is no longer present, whether through choice or circumstance, the absence they leave behind becomes a mirror reflecting what was overlooked, undervalued, or taken for granted. In this way, loss is not merely an ending, but a beginning, a doorway to profound lessons that can shape the rest of our lives. When we lose someone, we're often left with an ache that words cannot fully capture. This pain is not just about missing their presence, it's about the sudden clarity that arrives in their absence. The routines that once included them feel incomplete. The moments shared with them replay in our minds, and we begin to see with stark clarity all the ways they enriched our lives. It's in this clarity that the first lesson of loss emerges, the importance of appreciating what we have while we have it. Too often we move through life assuming that the people who matter to us will always be there. We get caught up in our routines, our ambitions, and our distractions, forgetting to express gratitude, affection, or even simple acknowledgement. Loss shatters this illusion of permanence, reminding us that every connection we hold dear is fragile. It teaches us to be more present, to listen more deeply, and to cherish the time we have with those we care about. Loss also forces us to confront our own actions and choices. When someone is gone, we often reflect on how we treated them, what we said or didn't say, and whether we fully honored the relationship. This reflection can be painful, as it brings to light regrets we may not have realized we carried. But within this pain lies an opportunity for growth. The lesson here is not to dwell in regret, but to let it guide us toward better choices moving forward. We can use the experience of loss to become more intentional in how we interact with others, ensuring that our relationships are marked by kindness, understanding, and authenticity. Another powerful lesson of loss is the recognition of our own resilience. In the immediate aftermath, the weight of absence can feel unbearable, as though the world has shifted on its axis and will never return to balance. But over time, we learn that while the pain may not disappear, it changes. We adapt, we grow, and we discover strength we didn't know we had. This resilience doesn't diminish the significance of what we've lost. Rather, it honors it by showing that we can carry the memory and meaning of that connection forward into the future. Loss also teaches us about the interconnectedness of life. When someone leaves, the ripples of their absence affect not only us, but also others who shared a connection with them. It's in this shared experience of loss that we often find community and understanding. These moments remind us that while loss is deeply personal, it is also a universal thread that binds us to one another. This recognition can deepen our empathy, encouraging us to be more compassionate and supportive to those navigating their own losses. Finally, the lesson of loss is one of transformation. It pushes us to reevaluate our priorities, values, and goals. It urges us to let go of what no longer serves us and to embrace what truly matters. In many ways, loss strips life down to its essentials, revealing what is most meaningful. This clarity can be a powerful catalyst for change, inspiring us to live with greater purpose and intention. Loss is undeniably painful, but it is also a profound teacher. It invites us to grow, to reflect, and to love more deeply. It reminds us that life's most significant connections are worth cherishing, and that even in the face of absence, the lessons we carry forward can illuminate our path. Redemption through reflection is a deeply transformative process, one that invites you to confront your past, understand your actions, and find a path to renewal. It is not about erasing mistakes or undoing harm. It is about owning your story, learning from it, and committing to growth. Reflection becomes the bridge between who you were and who you can become, offering you the opportunity to reclaim your integrity and rebuild your sense of self. Reflection begins with honesty, a willingness to look at yourself without excuses or justifications. It requires you to acknowledge the moments when you fell short, whether through words, actions, or inaction. This honesty can be uncomfortable, even painful, because it exposes the gap between your intentions and your impact. Yet it is in this discomfort that the seeds of redemption are planted. You cannot grow without first recognizing where growth is needed. Through reflection, you gain a deeper understanding of why you made certain choices. Perhaps it was fear, insecurity, or ignorance that led you astray. Recognizing these root causes doesn't absolve you of responsibility, but it does provide context. It helps you see yourself not as irredeemable, but as human, flawed, yes, but also capable of change. This self-awareness is crucial because it shifts the focus from blame to accountability, from shame to transformation. True reflection goes beyond self-analysis. It also considers the impact of your actions on others. Redemption is not a solitary journey. It involves understanding how your behavior affected those around you and being willing to take steps to make amends. This might mean apologizing, seeking forgiveness, or finding ways to repair the harm you caused. These acts of accountability are not just about righting wrongs, they are about rebuilding trust and reaffirming your commitment to do better. The process of reflection also teaches you humility. It reminds you that perfection is unattainable and that everyone makes mistakes. What matters is not the absence of failure, but your response to it. Redemption is about choosing to learn, to grow, and to strive for better, even when the path forward feels uncertain. This humility fosters resilience, enabling you to navigate setbacks with grace and perseverance. Reflection also reveals your capacity for empathy. When you take the time to truly understand the consequences of your actions, it deepens your connection to others. You begin to see their pain, their struggles, and their humanity in a way you might not have before. This empathy not only guides your efforts to make amends, but also shapes how you approach relationships moving forward. It encourages you to act with greater care and consideration, creating a ripple effect of positive change. Redemption through reflection is ultimately about reclaiming your sense of worth. It's a reminder that your mistakes do not define you, but your response to them does. Each step you take toward understanding accountability and growth is a step toward becoming the person you want to be. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of change, that you can rise above your past, and that you are worthy of forgiveness not just from others but from yourself. This journey is not easy, nor is it quick. Redemption requires patience, effort, and a willingness to face the parts of yourself you'd rather avoid. But the rewards are profound. Through reflection, you gain clarity, purpose, and a renewed sense of self. You learn that even in your lowest moments, there is an opportunity for transformation. And in that transformation, you find the redemption that allows you to move forward, not as someone defined by their mistakes, but as someone defined by their growth. Redemption is not about perfection, it is about perseverance. It's a journey that begins with reflection, grows through accountability, and culminates in transformation. The mistakes of your past are not your final chapter, they are stepping stones toward a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate version of yourself. Your willingness to confront your flaws, make amends, and strive for growth is what defines your character, not the moments when you fell short. The power of redemption lies in its universality. It reminds us all that change is possible, that no one is beyond the reach of grace, and that every day is an opportunity to write a new story. Your past may shape you, but it does not have to define you. Own your mistakes, honor the lessons they bring, and move forward with purpose. In choosing to reflect and grow, you reclaim your power and remind the world of a profound truth: it is never too late to become the person you were meant to be.